of political systems. A system of institutions is like a collection of computer programs, where each program relies on the other for valid information. Cities are powered by institutions, and when institutions go bad, the entire city suffers, similar to how a computer will begin misbehaving. The central processing unit of an institution is people working within its walls. It is a human-powered computer. Unlike machines, human-based computers can self-repair. To diverge. A small and common example of a human-powered computer is the modern trash truck, one that has the driver operating that huge claw. Another example is an unmanned aircraft, whose operator is somewhere on the ground. A far more down-to-earth example is the modern supermarket, the self-checkout line. Wherever the customer has a problem, the computer system will actually dispatch a human being for help. Finally, the first known instance of a human-powered machine is the Turk. It was an 18th century chess-playing machine hoax that had the operator hiding inside. To return to our subject, I want to bring attention to failure, where the educational system is no longer operating and thus causing stress, depression, poverty, and desperation. On the scale of a city, when education fails, it will cause an increase in crime, and a city will begin filling its jails with those who are pushed to a breaking point out of desperation that could have been prevented. When institutions of a system, such as a city, begin failing, all institutions are negatively affected. Therefore, it is in the best interest of all institutions to ensure integrity across the city. And when that equilibrium can no longer be reached, others need to be artificially powered down. For example, we can't fail students and then start sending them to jail. We have to scale the justice system in proportion to how well the schools and other related systems are operating, and wait for all to reach a healthy equilibrium. We cannot perform business as usual on one end when the other is broken. That can only further destabilize the system and cause even more damage. The institutions of a city must not isolate themselves from reality. The reason why we are not replacing human-powered institutions with mere machines is heart. The heart and love for the citizen. For a city to be called a city and not a heartless machine for forcing human beings into desperation, the poor, uneducated, ill, and homeless must come first. They must be granted safe homes, medical care, and welfare. A city must be judged by what happens to the least fortunate, way out on the borders that most tend to look away from. Then, we must practice crime prevention by means of functional, real education systems that use the city's funds to help its students out of poverty by helping them to operate small businesses, as a way of investing into its own not-so-distant future. In a city without balance, the best we can may often become the worst we've had. We must practice preferential treatment for the disadvantaged, for the uneducated, for those in dire need, and for the ill. Let us call this love above law. The future and future generations demand that the justice systems learn to see, because it is not meant to be a blind machine. It was never about business as usual, because time never stood still.